Yeah. So where do you see us going with the podcast?
So the thing is, a lot of people come up to me and they tell me, "Hey, Cameron, can you help me out with this? Can you help me out with that?" Mainly, it relates to business,
Yeah.
right? So one thing I want to really pass along is business tips and tricks, right? And I think overall, if I do a podcast type of thing, I could definitely inspire a lot of people to either start their own
Instead
business.
of instead of having 50 small one-on-one conversations, you're gonna
Yeah,
have 50
I want
viewers.
to have one large conversation that gets my point across to a lot of people that want to hear about it.
And you genuinely want to help their business,
100%.
right?
Right? One thing I learned pretty well how to do is the 4 hour work week. How you could work less hours
Mhm.
every week over week, and you could still make pretty much full time.
So you're
money.
saying I only have to work 4 hours a week?
It's not necessarily you have to only work 4 hours a week, but it definitely cuts down on the time that it takes you to get your work done to
Mhm.
make a livable income, right?
Okay.
And there's a lot of aspects to it, and that's something I really want to discuss. And the only way to really discuss it is over time, show you softwares or other things that could definitely
Yeah.
help you get that stuff done.
So it's not just one. Like you could talk with someone one-on-one, have a small conversation.
I've had this conversation with over 50 people.
Yeah,
that I've
but
already
even then, to that extent, it's not going to affect them that much, right?
That's right.
It's going to help them, give them a little track to be on, but it's not going to give them a thorough understanding of how to do the business the way that you do it.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're successful at it, and that's why people seek your advice.
that's right. There's a lot of loss in knowledge transfer when I do it one-on-one. Some people might pick up more than others, right?
Yeah.
That's why I want to do a podcast type of thing where I could explain more in a little shorter amount of time and people could refer back to it if they need it.
And are you going to be having people giving their ideas and stuff that you can discuss?
Yeah, and another thing I really like to talk about is different things like coronavirus or Neuralink, or there's a bunch of topics that interest me.
In the
And
world.
I have valid opinions on them. I think you have valid opinions on them as well, right? So that's something I want to discuss as well.
What's the rule when making money? A lot of people say that to make money, to have a lot of wealth, like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, you need to have scammed the people. You have to have ripped off someone down the line.
So someone asked Jeff Bezos, "Hey, what's it like being the richest person while there are so many poor people out there?" He asked him another question in return. He said, "How much is Amazon worth?" It's worth $1 trillion. How much am I worth? $200 billion. That means I've made someone $800 billion. The rule is that if you want to make money, you have to make other people money. That's it.
So for every 7 to 8 people that make $1 off of you, you need to have made them. You make $1 off of every 8 people that make $1 off of you.
That's right. I think that's the case.
And if you think about it, it applies practically to every single business, right? You sell a service, you sell a product. That product helps someone's life and enables them to do something with that product to get some type of effect.
The most valuable asset is time, right?
Yeah.
Every service tries to minimize time usage. Every product tries to minimize time usage.
Yeah. So if you think about, let's say Google,
Yeah.
$1 billion company, right?
That's right. It allows you to access information that would have taken you years to learn.
Years, yeah.
Right.
To get from books, everything, right?
Yeah.
Within seconds, it's
That's
at
right.
your hands.
That's why it's the most valued company in the world.
Okay, so the coronavirus has been going on for about 7 months now.
Yeah.
And doesn't really look like there's an end to it. I mean, obviously there's countries that are really reducing the amount of people that have the virus. But then you look at a country like the United States of America, and the coronavirus is dominating a region like that, right? So it really brings the question to mind, when is truly the end of coronavirus? Is it soon, or is it going to be delayed due to countries like the United States?
I think, to be honest with you, no one knows, right? There's a lot of speculation going on. When is it safe to go outside? When is it safe to not wear a mask, right? How are you going to move forward past this disease, right? People are building habits of being socially distanced. Is that going to continue after the virus is gone? After we have such a vaccine that could protect us all? Is there going to be a vaccine that's going to be effective against coronavirus? There are a lot of questions that are unanswered right now.
Also, the huge economic effect of the coronavirus, right? Like everyone not working right now is getting $2,000 a month from the Canadian government.
How long is that sustainable for?
How long is that truly sustainable for before we become a communist state, right? Or well, is it communist? Is it socialism?
I think it's socialist.
Socialist state. Apologies. So $2,000 a month. Everyone gets $2,000 a month. The Canadian dollar is getting absolutely trashed in the market.
The Canadian government's $500 million in debt.
Yeah, look at the airline, the Canadian airline, going in debt more and more every single quarter.
How is the stock market still rising? It baffles my mind.
Do you think there's some type of things going on the inside behind the works that's enabling the stock market to rise? Do you think they've figured it out after 2008, after the huge financial crash in 2008?
To be honest, I don't know. Here's the thing: productivity is at an all-time low because people are not getting to work. Right? There's so many delays in transit. People are not moving around. Right? There's a less need for the thing that we rely on the most, which is oil.
Yeah.
Right? How can the stock market continue to rise when there's less demand for energy, which powers the entire sector? I mean, industry, right? We need oil. We use oil for asphalt. It builds roads. We need oil that makes plastic. We use plastics every day, water bottle, everything else.
Speaking on productivity, a lot of people are now staying at home, and it's causing a huge rise in mental health cases and people suffering from, let's say, depression, anxiety, and stuff. They're staying at home the entire time. They're not getting interaction. They're getting more and more worried about their financial situations. They have to pay rent. They can't afford it next month. What are they going to do? Landlords are not being able to afford their mortgages because the renters are not paying them rent. How are they going to pay them rent if they don't have any work, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like the whole cycle is not in check.
So do you believe we're coming close to a very big crash? Or do you believe we have already passed the crash and now we're going to become better?
I think the crash happened, the government put a Band-Aid on it, and the wound was not treated, right?
We could be seeing the end. I mean, look at a country like Russia. Vladimir Putin, he's saying, I gave the vaccine to my own daughter. How believable is that?
The thing is, that country is really hitting it hard. They're already in a hole, and they've got into a deeper hole because of coronavirus.
They took it seriously from day one.
Yeah, but they have one of the highest cases in the world, right? What number is it?
So Russia has 1 million cases. The United States has 6 million.
That's right.
Crazy, staggering numbers, right? One of the highest case counts.
Both of these countries are desperate for a vaccine, right?
United States, are they desperate for a vaccine?
I think so because, it shut down their economy more than anywhere else in the world. That country has been affected. The day-to-day labor jobs, they're gone, right?
So our podcast, we're going to be streaming all over social media.
That's right, yeah.
Apple, Spotify. We're also going to be uploading the full length
on YouTube.
And we're also going to be uploading, I guess, the most talked about, most discussed important clips on platforms like Instagram, our personal Instagrams.
Yeah.
On TikTok, we're going to create a TikTok account. We're going to link all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you see this podcast going? How long do you think you're going to keep this up for?
I think my goal for earlier on this year was to make a weekly podcast by late August. So I think I want to hit that goal.
Okay.
So a weekly podcast.
Well, it is late August, right?
That's when I'm starting. Yeah. Always hit your goals.
All right.
See, that's another key to success that people don't do, right? The difference between successful people and not successful people is not how much money they make or now how much happiness they have or how much opportunity they're presented with. It's if they've set goals or not, right?
And should I set, let's say I want to become a millionaire. Should I set, I want to make $1 million, or should I say I want to make $5?
No, it's not about setting a dollar value to it, but it needs to be measurable, right? It could be a personal goal that, hey, I want to lose 25 pounds, right? Something that could be measured over time. And then when's the deadline for that? Is it in 1 million years? Is it in 1 day? How long do you want to achieve this in, right? And that's one of the keys for a successful goal is that it needs to be timely and measurable. Yeah, we live in the age of the internet, right? And the thing is, everyone wants instant gratification. And that's basically how our social behavior works now. And that's how we think, right? The key to success is to set smaller goals that we could achieve in a number of days that could lead to our bigger goals, whatever they may be. If it's weight loss, if you want to lose 20 pounds, that's a pound a week, right?
Yeah.
In 20 weeks, you'll lose 20 pounds.
I think that's good logic, right? You got to start off with small. If you want to lose like 20 pounds, you don't say I want to lose 20 pounds and you keep thinking I want to lose 20 pounds because you're not going to lose 20 pounds. Just say I want to lose 1 pound a week. How hard is it to lose 1 pound a week? Very easy, right?
Yeah, you could probably pretty much lose a pound in a day on a good day.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. On a good day, you can lose whatever amount, 1 pound at least.
Yeah.
So it's just an accumulation of very small goals. And then once you get to the end of all these small goals, you realize, wait, I've accomplished my big goal that I wanted to accomplish.
That's right. Guys, expect a podcast once a week, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, hopefully Sunday.
Perfect. And what's the name of the show?
The Kast. Kamran Podcast, shortened down to The Kast.
Kamran Podcast, Kast with a K. All right, guys, stay tuned for our podcast. What's it called?
The Kast.